Hi, I'd like to extend my welcome as well. I'm Megan Mustaine. I'm the Interim Dean of Graduate Studies in Humanities and Social Science. And really on behalf of all of the graduate deans, that's Dean Aravelis of Science, Engineering, and Technology, and Dean Singh of the Greehey School of Business, I welcome you and your families and family members who aren't able to be here into the St. Mary's family. We're really glad to have you here. I've been asked today to talk about a couple things, and I promise there are only like 3 or 4 slides, so don't go to sleep on me, or have some more coffee first. So first, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what education in general means here at St. Mary's, and then more specifically about how that translates into graduate education, which is a little bit different. And we'll talk a little bit about why go to graduate school. I mean, you're here, so you've clearly answered that question, but we're going to answer it again. I'm a philosopher, that's what we do. And then finally talk a little bit about the expectations, what you should expect as a graduate student and what we expect of you as a graduate student. So to start, I have here the university's mission, which I'm not going to read at you, but you'll see it a lot here at St. Mary's. It's one of these statements that we don't merely put on paper. We really live this, and you can generally ask just about any faculty or staff member what's the university's mission, and they'll rattle off something that's pretty close. But I want to focus in on 3 elements of the mission, in particular how it applies to the academic life. So when we think about what education is for, if you ask students who are about to enroll in college, why are you doing this? Why are you signing your life away for 4 years plus to go to college and do this? They'll say a few things. I want to get a job, right? I want to engage in some self-exploration, right? Have some new experiences, try some stuff out. And also, I want to be a better member of my world, to serve my community. At St. Mary's, we reinterpret those things a little bit. Instead of just thinking about employment, we think about vocation. So it's not merely what are you going to do to make a living, but rather what are you going to do to make a life? This dovetails with what we talk about in terms of formation. It's not just self-exploration in the sense of collecting a bunch of experiences or getting a bunch of knowledge crammed into your head. Rather, it's about figuring out who you are and what kind of service you can be to the world, what your calling is. In terms of community, you'll find, if you've been to St. Mary's before, community is a big word here, and again, we really mean it. Community here means family, and that means the families present in this room, but it also means the human family. And so we like to think of education here as forming a person to serve the global human community through their vocational aspirations. Graduate study is a special part of that. So, graduate school is many, many things, and it means a lot of things to each of you. You're here for very different reasons. But one of the things that it involves, and this is a really exciting thing, is that you are making the move from consuming knowledge, which is largely what a lot of undergraduate education becomes, right? You're expected to master some material, show that you've mastered it, and then move on to the next set of things that you have to show that you can absorb. Right? That's consuming information, consuming knowledge. In graduate education, you're making the transition to not just consuming, but creating knowledge. We're welcoming you into the professional and scholarly communities that you will be a part of after you walk that stage. As such, community in graduate education is in part becoming a member of your discipline. So if you were a psychology major in college, you were a psychology major. You were taught by psychologists. When you're an industrial organizational psychology student in graduate school, you are becoming a psychologist, not merely a student of psychology. That's an exciting move. So whatever your program or your field of study, one of the things that you're doing here is being initiated into the norms of your discipline or your area of study, into the methods, into the techniques, and into the content mastery. You're going to be one of us. Formation, your personal formation, your growth as a person involves here honing those skills and talents that you've developed throughout your life, whether in school or outside of school. Here we get to focus. Graduate education is largely about focusing your attention, taking all of the stuff that you come with and bring to this campus, and figuring out what you want to focus on. What area of human concern are you going to help with? And what do you need to become in order to help properly? Graduate education helps you to do that. And finally, in terms of vocation, again, we talk about refinement. Each of you is in a program, a field of study that you're excited about. You're jazzed up, you're ready to start. What you'll be doing there is, over the course of your study here, figuring out exactly what it is that you want to apply yourself to. And I ask you, in light of the Catholic and Marianist mission of this university, to think of that in terms of not only what your talents and your interests are, but what the world needs and how you can help. Finally, what's this graduate school stuff like in a really practical sense? So first, I already talked a little bit about specialization. You'll find in your classes, as an undergraduate, you probably encountered a whole lot of classes that were not in your major field of study. And you may have found yourself at sometimes thinking, why do I have to do this? That's not what I'm doing. In graduate school, you are largely taking, almost exclusively taking courses that are in your field of study. That's pretty exciting. You get to really hone in and focus on the stuff that you love. Socialization. This is a little different from undergraduate as well. Your department is going to be your focus in terms of your social life here. That said, we have the Graduate Center for Excellence, which is a really good place to meet graduate students from other disciplines. There's a danger in the academic world that we get so siloed, and we only, English majors talk to English majors, and psychology majors talk to psychology majors, and engineers talk to engineers, et cetera. The Graduate Center for Excellence is a wonderful place to meet people from other disciplines, and what you find if you do that well is that you'll see some overlaps between what you're working on and what the person next to you is. Some really exciting research projects can come out of those kinds of networks. So please take advantage of that center, even just to go up. We also have a pub opening, I don't know if you heard. Also a good place to meet graduate students. They tend to like pubs. The apprenticeship model, another difference here. Your professors are not sages on the stage in the way that they might have been in undergraduate. They're still sages, but they're not quite on the stage. They're your guides. They're your mentors. You're apprenticing with your faculty members for entry into your disciplinary or professional community. So I think it's helpful to think of your professors as guides and also gatekeepers for entry into your chosen profession. Think of them as companions and not as people to fear. Please, you fear me, but the rest of them, they're all your friends. Lastly, time commitments. Oh, sorry, I forgot self-directed study. You'll notice if you've already registered for classes or started thinking about it, you're taking probably 3 courses, right? 9 hours if you're full-time. That's not very much if you're used to an undergraduate schedule of 21 hours a semester. What that means is that a lot of your time outside of classroom is time for you to take what you're learning and talking about in the classroom, in those seminars, and building on it. You're responsible for reading beyond the syllabus, for getting excited and spending some time in the library and the Graduate Center for Excellence and collaborating with other students. You have your education in your hand, and your professors will help you to do that. So that's a little bit of a mind shift for how you think about your own education. And lastly, time commitments. So fewer classes, fewer assignments. Some of your classes might simply have 1 project or 1 paper at the end. That's it. That's scary. What that means is that you're actually, despite having fewer assignments, you're having probably at least twice the work. So we ask that outside of the classroom, or even inside the classroom for that matter, you engage in the semester as a chance to put yourself into your classes. And that's all I have to say. Again, I'd like to welcome you to graduate study at St. Mary's. We are really excited to have you here. I've listed here the names of the 3 deans for graduate studies, and also Ann Edmonds, who directs our Graduate Center for Excellence. Please, all of us, we welcome your presence. Thank you all again. It's wonderful to have you here.